This is video 5. I just finished, again, I remember being a Marine going through and then thinking, well, man, it's like it's like that naiveness of saying, well, we're a free country. Americans don't do that to Americans. So that's wrong at that time. Then going through it myself and realizing, man, just being a poor person, and I don't know if the system is just looking at me as a Hispanic being poor, and had I been a white person, I'm always asking, if I was just straight up a white dude going into that court with the judge, I've said, look, wait a minute, I'm going to look at this, I don't know. So I don't know the answers to that. Because it's just natural that, I experienced that in the military as well. People will judge you on just being a race until they get to know you. Ironically, in that court situation, the lawyer apologized to me at the end of the thing. She goes, I'm sorry, I'm just doing my job. That's what she said. And I remember just looking at her, and she looked empathetic to me. She really did. It's like she's looking at a dude saying, man, nobody ever... It's like I was the only person going to in front of a judge. There was I think there was 2 other cases before me where the judge is looking around for the plaintiff or the defendant and saying, it's just so easy. It's like the judge had an easy job. It's like, you win, you know what I mean? And they're looking at me like nobody ever shows up here, you know what I mean? It's like looking at me in surprise. But then being very honest with me. I want to make those minutes public, to the public. So you can read the minutes and see, well, man, that judge was basically saying that, the business and the lawyers and money, and nobody reads contract. They can't even explain their own contract. That was a big part of my issue. I have too many statements that say this contradicts what their contract says. A lot of my stuff is referring to the contract as a contradiction and to explain it. So legally, the judge would have to have read it. Again, my rights were violated there. But again, going through this, folks, since I've been here in Tucson, oh my gosh, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm not under a free law. But how it slips away from anybody who is poor, and really, I'm asking a question, is it coming to race and these things, you know what I mean? I've been racially profiled for a long period of time, so in my situation, yes. How about in another person? I always say, how about somebody else? I can only talk about what the facts are with my situation, and that's what I'm doing. I say how this is linked. Remember, and then I started to do research to say, well, a lot of the credit card companies are really owned by conservatives, and they give money to conservative lawmakers. And I'm starting to say, well, wait a minute, I see too many common trends. And prior, I remember, I bought a stock in the private prison industry because I know, well, prisons don't make a lot of money. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of business in prisons. And then I saw a video of a news thing, and it was a conservative state. I remember that. And the owner was a conservative. It was a private prison industry that was conservative. And they were doing like appalling things to the inmates. And I immediately sold the stock. I remember having an epiphany to say, I could make a lot of money. I'm not going to make money as a result of a slave prison industry. So I started to research it. So I wanted to do a script on the prison industry and racism and gangs and all this stuff to say, well, it exacerbates that type of thing. In fact, it creates a radicalism. I could be a penologist. I did so much research. Every freaking documentary on MSNBC. Did so much research on conservatism linked to the private prison industry, linked to businesses, linked to lawmakers. That I saw a common trend, So now I'm linking all these common trends to when I'm having all these, business laws, contract laws, how they are also linked in that business. Say it's the same. And to say that's how you create a financial slave prison industry. Now that's how you create a financial slave industry within the poor middle class and the poor person to, to prey on them. And then the payments and the thing and the law system associated to it. How is that American? It's not.